of our economic leadership. It's about America continuing to be the home of innovation. We must find ways to enable the extension and the expansion of broadband. Local officials with permitting authority have a special obligation to both their communities and to their nation and a larger society. It is simply impossible to have the connectivity our nation requires without the necessary infrastructure. And while there is an understandable desire to engage in cognitive dissonance of wanting connectivity but not as consequences, as policymakers, we must resist within reason such myopia. In that regard, we must build on and expand the creative thinking that has been the hallmark of the good work that you have done to facilitate advanced broadband builds around the country. It's great that NATOA has developed best practices on tower siting and is updating those practices. As I understand it, there's also a guide that you've done on rights of way, but it's 12 years old. Things have changed a bit in a dozen years. I encourage you to update your rights of way guide. You have the ability to develop national best practices that embrace strategies that have been shown to work in today's technological and economic environments. Strategies that embrace new technology and new ideas to facilitate the timely deployment of wired and wireless broadband. You know, reference was made, I think Tony, or I think it was made earlier, Tony made it, about Google and Google's application that got 1,100 cities around the country. They developed a city checklist to aid them in determining where they should invest in gigabit fiber. And the checklist contains a list of simple issues. Things such as timely and accurate information about the access to poles and conduits. These low-cost steps are relevant to all broadband providers, not just Google. And we must bring those insights to all localities. At the FCC, we will use our authority to attack the broadband deployment challenge. We will work with you on those guidelines that you're working on, Steve, so that national best practices are included in what we call our Agenda for Broadband Competition, the ABCs of consumer choice in the 21st century. We will also move on our own authority. Last Friday, I proposed to my colleagues a new set of federal policies on the siting of wireless facilities. The proposal will take concrete steps to immediately and substantially ease the burdens associated with deploying wireless equipment, particularly